So, last week I was in Berlin, pointing my camera at lots of interesting things. It's going to take me a while to sort through all 1400 shots to make a series of videos. So in the meantime, I thought I would just present a few tips for people intending to visit the city as a tourist. You know, the tips the guidebooks should have given you, but didn't. If you're confident about striking out on your own, a lot of the sites have information displays, many of them translated into English and some of them into other languages as well. You can learn a great deal without even having to go into a museum. You may find some small exhibitions in very unlikely places. Some of the U-bahn stations, for example, are virtual museums or art galleries in their own right. Some are worth looking at just for the architecture. But Berlin is a big place and driving is not easy. Parking is nearly impossible. With so many attractions scattered over such a wide area, you are going to need transport. Obviously, there are these sightseeing buses, and in many cases you can buy a ticket that lasts for 24 hours and allows you to hop off and on as you wish. If your time is limited, then one recommendation is to do the entire tour in one go and then go back and revisit some of the sites that seemed most interesting to you. A slightly more cost-effective alternative is to use the ordinary buses. Routes 100 and 200 go past many of the major tourist attractions in central Berlin, but they are very popular with tourists and it's very difficult to get a prized seat near the front of the top deck unless you make a very early start or are in Berlin out of season. So here's what you do. Start at the zoo, but don't get on at the main bus station. Instead, walk along the length of the train station until the end, turn left, go under the bridge, and you should see the bus depot in front of you. And opposite the bus depot is a bus stop that almost nobody knows exists. And if you get on there, I can almost guarantee that you'll be first on the bus. So, public transport in Berlin for those who think they may need it. There are buses, obviously, and in former East Berlin there are also trams. Then there's the U-bahn, which is a metro system rather like the London Underground or the New York subway, and the s-bahn, which is a mass transit commuter rail system, and you can also use other local trains. These services are all integrated into one system, so you can use the same ticket on all of them. This is what I had. It's called a city tour card and it came with a little map which was very useful and some discounts on some attractions. There's also the welcome card which is similar, slightly more expensive, but it has more discounts on more attractions and a little guidebook. These are the websites to go to for further information about these tickets, and I've also put links in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. Before you start your first journey, you need to validate your ticket by inserting it into a validation machine like this one, which you'll find in all stations and on all buses and trams. There are no barriers, but there are frequent spot checks. Obviously, there is a downside. There will be times when trains and buses are going to be very full. And as excellent as Berlin's public transportation system is, and it is excellent, it's not always a very pleasant experience. If you ever get lost in Berlin, look for the nearest bus shelter or tram shelter. There'll be a detailed street map there showing you exactly where you are. Be prepared to be disappointed from time to time. 25 years after reunification, Berlin is still rebuilding, so a lot of the attractions may be behind scaffolding. This sometimes also affects the public transport, so expect services to be rerouted or even suspended. Berlin is relatively safe, but obviously not risk-free. In crowded places, you will have to watch out for pickpockets. Going out at night is quite safe, but still take care. Go with a friend, it's usually more fun that way, and avoid confrontations with strangers. One thing I did notice was that the shell game is alive and well in Berlin, so apparently enough people are still being suckered into it. Don't be one of them. Now, I didn't actually want to be caught out filming any of these people because they're not very pleasant, but basically you see them playing a game where the object is to guess under which little box a little ball is to be found. You see lots of people apparently easily winning lots of money, but they are shills. If you have a go, you will lose. The Berliners themselves are famously rude and they are proud of it. You're not supposed to take offence, it's just the way they are. I've heard people say that in that respect they're quite similar to New Yorkers. People working in the service industries in particular are likely to be efficient, but they're not going to bother to pretend they're pleased to see you. Finally, Berlin sees a lot of protests and demonstrations, especially around the Brandenburg Gate and the Government Quarter for obvious reasons. If you have to catch a train or a plane, make sure you give yourself plenty of time just in case you get held up. I was actually quite lucky to catch my train back home because the bus I was planning to take to the station wasn't running due to a demonstration right outside the central train station itself, forcing me to take a much more complicated route by U-bahn and S-bahn. Luckily, I had given myself 40 minutes leeway, so all that actually happened was that I missed lunch. And that's it. Berlin is well worth visiting and has a lot more to offer than you could fit in an entire week. Really, just have fun.